Welcome to the next Fireside Chat. Today we're going to be talking about some experiences, some things that's come up regarding family. Linda will share some of her insights, or we both will. Hey, Linda.
Hi. Alrighty. Well, I've just had my family down from north of Perth, or some of my family members, and we decided to have a bit of a staycation because of everything that's been going on and people trying to save money and whatnot. And I'm finding myself censoring myself, I guess, because my viewpoint on a lot of things that's going on at the moment is so vastly different to all my other family members. So that has made me, it's brought up some stuff, I guess, because at times I feel like we're sitting there talking and I think I get an idea in my head and I'm like, ugh. And then I think, no, I can't talk about that. And then, no, can't talk about that either. So the conversation's been left at very surface level, I guess, where everyone feels comfortable, because my family are very respectful of each other's, thoughts and ideas, to the point where we don't want to ridicule anyone. We still love each other, so we don't want to ridicule anyone. But at the same token, it just feels like I can't go to any depth of any conversation with any of my family members. And and so today I woke up and I sat down and I was listening to some YouTube video and I just started feeling really quite emotional, and because sad in a way, it's sad that I can't open up and be my honest self with my family members, and it feels like that divide's getting more and more because everything's just the conversation is now very, very shallow. It just feels like I've lost the depth of the connection I used to have with my family. So I was feeling quite a bit sad about it this morning.
Interesting. So do you feel you've lost the depth, or do you feel like it's just more of a gap potentially?
Well, I still love them, but there's more of a gap because I don't feel like I can connect with them. When we're talking now, there's less connection.
So how has that changed from the past, do you feel?
Well, we used to talk about much more stuff, but I think now it's just because they know my stance on it. They all think I'm nuts, respectively so. I mean, they don't shove it in my face or anything, but they think I'm crazy for thinking the way I do and then seeing what I'm seeing. But so they just don't want to go there, and I don't want to go there because I don't want because I'm the only one that believes what I believe. So I don't want to have a conversation with 10, 12 people all saying an opposite thing. There's no point going in that. So
it's hard. I think everyone's faced with that at the moment, where they have a loved one that make different choices and different decisions regarding even to be vaxxed. Like I think it started with Trump. Families that would never fight started fighting. And for all around the world, when it doesn't even, I guess indirectly everything affects everything, but I've never seen it before Trump, Trump got in. And now the COVID thing, everyone's got different views and people are fearing, and there's all sorts of things going on. As we've spoken about, fear brings negativity towards you, and when you're fearing, when you're negative, your immune system is compromised to some degree, obviously, depending on the potency of the person. If one is potentially a great healer and they focus a lot on negative things, then they bring that around a lot more than someone that's not so in touch, that's focusing on negative things.
Yeah.
So I don't feel we always have to be fully clear to heal, but it's a matter of how open we are and how deep we can dig within ourselves. The deeper we go, the greater we heal, or the greater we create turmoil within. So, and I think that's the entrapment potentially on the spiritual journey, because we don't realize how much we impact ourselves. And as we get in touch more and more, we impact ourselves and others more and more. But I definitely feel, with the jab is the next great divide. It's just, I've got friends on both sides. Life is a calculated risk. But then when there's people, that have differing views, with anything that you put in your body, there's a risk with that anyway. With anything you put in the body, anything you eat, obviously, there's poisons, toxins, anything that we consume or put in on some level, even radiation. All these things, once you get so much, there's sometimes not a lot you can do to counteract some of these things. And that's a pretty generalized way of speaking about things, but things in the bloodstream, if you change your mind, or let's say, for example, the jab was poisonous. Well, what do you do about that? What can you do about that? Who knows? So, and that's the fear. I'm not, I'd rather be neutral in this debate at this point in time. But the fear is, for those that are against an experiment, so to speak, then you think, well, what if it is poison, and what do we do from here? So it's putting everything on the line, and that's where the emotions come up. It's like a whirlwind. It's amazing with Trump. Everyone, family members stop contacting each other now. With the vax, it's like it's a different kind of turmoil where you may not be in touch so much, but you still love each other. So then there's that fear and everything else. So that's what can you do about that? So you just have to love them, respect their wishes as they should respect yours, and it's a time rather than judging others. I feel it's a time to bond together and try and not arm wrestle every time about the health issues or whatever else. And I feel there's a lot of things going out there promoting both sides of medical practices or vaccinations or whatever else. There's always been two sides to an argument. So, and I like to look at both sides. If someone's already made the choice, I'd rather not show them both sides.
Yeah.
Because, the one side's, fear, it's very concerning and it makes you sort of fear the potential ramifications, and the other side's, fearing the possibilities if you don't do it. It's a tough one either way. If you're not jabbed, you can easily make a decision to be jabbed, and people easily do at times, even when they, tend to be against it, and they just go, bang, yeah, no, I got it. And once you get it, where do you go from there? So,
That's it.
I've spoken to people. I'm going to be doing some healing on just, the healing that I do on some vaccinated people, and it's a different type of healing. And, but you certainly would not, with anything, choices people have made, you never focus on the fear factor. If I'm going to do healing on someone, I go, I'll talk about what I feel to some degree, or how I feel it, heaviness in their body or whatever else is going on. Just talking about in general from people, a lot of people have healed over the years. But you focus on the way through. You don't focus on. I don't give necessarily bad news unless I can, or negative understandings unless I can show a way through. I'm not specifically talking about the jab. I'm talking about anything in general, because the way we think impacts our body, of course, our energetic body. So wouldn't say I shouldn't have done this. You're screwed. What are you going to do? Good luck. What? There's some blocks here, I feel, or you're not flowing in this area. Open to this possibility or that possibility. Let's look at this and see yourself healing. And so it's never all doom and gloom. No matter what, I don't deal in doom and gloom. I deal in the possibilities of more and transforming or uplifting, processing things. And so this is the concern with obviously putting things into your bloodstream is that you can't really show them the other side that looks drastic, in comparison, because how will that benefit them? Yeah. Time will tell, as always. Time always will work out what's what. Yeah, everyone's on their own journey, and we have to accept that. So I think in the meantime, you try and enjoy their presence, and instead of condemnation, it's connection, it's time.
Well, that's why I do feel lucky. I mean, I've heard some awful stories where people, loving friendships or loving relationships prior to this, and now they just don't want to bother each other. That's where I feel lucky that my family still accept me for me and they still love me for me, but they just don't accept my ideas. And it's the same, in the other way. Like I still accept them and their decisions and so forth. So I feel very, very blessed in that way.
Absolutely.
But some stories that I've heard are really sad, how some people now don't even want to associate with them.
I think this is, like, I blame the media for this. When you feel like everything's on the line. Time for connection, not less connection, where the government's everything they're doing is to keep us or minimise the connection.
Yeah.
And what we can do. So the remedy is shunned. It's just a crazy thing about the world. It's like, well, even daylight, the vitamin D is extremely powerful and potent vitamin, and so minimise vitamin D, minimise connection. Well, how does it anyone? Where's the immune system and the from the mind point of view, people are suffering more than ever. The immune system's compromised outwardly and inwardly. It's I don't agree with that at all. Like, I think we need sunshine, and most things can't survive in the sunlight. So
yeah, no, I just I saw today, I don't know, it was an advertisement for either Canada or America, where the government was saying that Thanksgiving is just around the corner, and they're advising everyone to not invite their unvaccinated family and friends. And I thought, wow, that, I mean, I don't know why anything surprises me these days, but it was, it took me back a little bit that the government now saying that, shun your family members pretty much.
Well, this is the crazy thing. Like, whether you stand on the left or right, either way. Like, Obama had his birthday party. That's more important than everyone else's gatherings and get-togethers and Christmas and giving.
Yeah,
wow, 700 guests or something ridiculous. I don't mind him. Like, I got no problem with him. Anyone having these things, but providing everyone else can. Like, this is the hypocrisy. Like, why is it okay for all these politicians are the exception to the rule? It's like, if I'm the exception to the rule, I have not understood anything, and I'm not, and then these people that have that, do as I say, not as I do, they're the ones they divide people.
Yeah.
What they say with their words is their actions give everything away. So it's important. So this is even smaller groups, might be 15, 20 people or so for Christmas, whatever the family size is, even 10, 12. And then they go and have 700 people, a party with 700. I think it's 7. I could be wrong, but it's hundreds.
Yeah, it was hundreds. Yeah.
Yeah. And they go, oh, no, it doesn't count for this reason or for that reason. As it turns out, those people got COVID. And the bottom line is, and according to the statistics, it's as dangerous as the flu. Statistically speaking, unless I've got it wrong, it's as dangerous as the flu.
Yeah.
So why don't we mandate flu jabs? If you say, mandate flu jabs, which I believe they tried to do, it's like, that's ridiculous. No one would do that. So we'll give something else a name. We'll I get a sense of where I stand on some of these things. You look at the numbers. Like, I don't not put a intense fear around a particular word or the name or something. Look at the numbers. Look how dangerous it is compared to cancer. Takes way more people. So
Australia's death rates even decreased last year, not increased. When everyone was saying that people are dying left, right, and centre, actually decreased.
Yeah, over the last 5 years or so, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And the more people that get it and survive, then the less lethal it actually is. So
that's right. Yeah, natural immunity.
Exactly. So I'm not bagging people that go and get the jab or do what they need to do. If that's what they feel they need to do, then that's what they feel they need to do. Like, no one has my view, but like I've said before, no one has the right to tell me what my view should be for the sake or anyone else. Like, I am considerate of others. I wish harm on no one. But the lines are blurred and people are confused and angry because of that. And they take it out. And these are the rules or laws or mandates are created by the governments, and everyone takes it out on each other. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's not, it's projection. Not that everyone takes it out on everyone, but it's many do. The government is doing it, and the government are blaming you and I. It's like saying, well, if you don't do what I like, I will slap you. It's like, And then you go, so you're making me do stuff. You're the one that's making the choice to move, to slap me, you know? Like, you can't blame another. It's like you have to take responsibility. And anyway, it's again.
Funny.
So you have to surrender and consider possibilities without force feeding anyone or anything. And I mentioned to you before about as you open up more and more, as things crack open and you feel emotional from circumstances. The difference between now and prior was that you let go, you're letting go more and more, and you're feeling more and more, instead of the mind controlling the unraveling of self. Having the courage to let go and feel and connect with heart, and that is surrender, and that's empowered. That's empowerment.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's misconstrued often. Surrender. It's like everyone feels that they need to control their growth, and as you let go, it's like you're on the top of the slide. You let go of the control that you think you feel to spiritually grow. You'll slide down a slide quicker than you can imagine, and then you can grip on with the mind anytime you choose. But if you want to go fast, letting go is the fastest way, because limiting our flow is based, in my experience, on mind concepts or ideas.
Yeah. And I think a good example of that is, I told you this morning about I used to have certain things that I do during meditation sometimes to try to betterment for the world and that sort of thing. And I would do certain things in my mind with that meditation. And the other night I went to do the same thing I usually do. And for some reason, it didn't feel right. That wasn't the right direction. So I kind of just surrendered and let it guide me to where I was supposed to go and do with it. And that was interesting because I haven't had that before.
But you've been letting go more and more and feeling like with that, so releasing.
Yeah.
That is the potency. It's if we are limited by our mind and our thoughts, then why would we let that guide us on our growth? You want to transcend, let that go, and allow ourselves to be in touch with our intuition, our heart, and allow that to guide us.
Yeah.
So you let go of the grip of the mind. So the healing that I try and encourage is just let go as much as you possibly can. Stop holding on to anything and see what remains, see what unravels. People are often blown away about the potential growth and the insight that comes with that. So if you're limited by, if something limits you or growth or limits others or tries to, so how could that possibly know the way to grow when it's limiting all the way through? Therefore, this is part of the trap, with the way the world is today. It's all fear-based.
Yeah.
So you only let go of what you're not afraid of. Everything's calculated and controlled through fear of what happens if you let go completely. Well, your whole world would open up. It's profound. But the fear takes over.
Yeah.
So you have to, the fastest way by far is to let go of the controlling factor, that harness that you wear, metaphorically speaking, psychologically speaking, to just allow yourself to be, allow yourself to feel, and allow yourself to utilize everything you have access to within yourself. And everything, and let that be your guide. And as you know, when you discover things emotionally or spiritually, you feel a sense of being overwhelmed. Like all of a sudden you have access to something that you've locked away. But it does take long before you get used to dealing with that, that emotional opening or whatever it is. And then you recalibrate, and you have more access to yourself.
Yeah.
And therefore see more into others. So it's part of the process. And I feel as soon as people start feeling overwhelmed, it's close it up, shut the gates. Like, no, you're just on the brink of a breakthrough.
Yeah.
Don't close it now. And then in the end, you're in your safe space. And that is ultimately a place of suffering where everything's controlled, and you're locking yourself into a pen. And that pen might seem big for a child or for a teenager, but by the time you reach adulthood, you've explored every asset, you've explored every part of that little pen you're in, and it's all not so large. So learn to be boundless, and to do that, we must let go and take chance of this limiting mind that I'm lost in. Maybe it doesn't know the way. Maybe it doesn't know the answer. If it knew the answers and it wasn't so limiting, you wouldn't be suffering.
Yeah, exactly.
So evidence that it doesn't know the way is that it's falling into suffering, or you are falling into suffering. So that it's as straightforward as that. I truly think surrender is the way forward, and it's just surrendering is acknowledging that maybe I don't know the answers. Maybe there's something more than myself. I've mentioned a few times, and in some of these talks, about swaha, or svaha, soha. That is so profound. Where it's like, this is my prayer, and I offer this to something beyond myself, something that is clearer. And you don't have to have an idea or concept of what that is. It's just like an offering. It's knowing that there's something more, something greater. It's like having something, like even a being or a presence that is beyond myself, that can be almost like a role model without a preconceived idea of what that looks like. It's like just seeking something more within.
Yep.
And knowing that, that there's potentially other beings or other energies that is more pure or has more access to itself, or, whether it's a guide, whether it's an angel, whatever it is for yourself. That is profound. It's surrendering to that aspect of that openness. That is true power. That is opening some floodgates there. Rather, I know the way, or I know exactly what to do, my prayer or this, whatever it is. Like that's a arrogant way to think, I feel, where it's like, swaha is my prayer, swaha. That is something to behold. That is powerful. That is absolutely humbling, and a great way of being surrendered. In that, you can grow exponentially, my experience. Surrendering is opening to possibilities and more. We've all heard about what it's like to be humble, and being humble is not thinking that you dominate anything or anyone. It's knowing that there's something beyond yourself that is liberating, in my view, my experience. And it's something to aspire toward, even if you don't necessarily know exactly, or you can't truly see what it is you're aspiring to. It's aspiring to something more. We've all asked for guidance within. I know I have plenty of times throughout my life. And when you really feel it in your heart. I've been guided every single time that I truly was seeking guidance. And it's been game to be surrendered enough and potentially open or broken enough to lay your heart out on, and be vulnerable. And I don't feel you need to be vulnerable necessarily to anyone else. It's being vulnerable to yourself, with yourself.
Yep.
But surrendering isn't surrendering to another. And I'm not saying to surrender to another person, another being. I'm saying to surrender to the inner depths of yourself, and the possibility of that, and the light or the heart guidance that that we want to enhance throughout our life through spirituality and awareness. Surrender to that. It's not about waving a white flag. It's about letting your walls down and discovering your amazing gifts and beauty and power. And then things can be created, things can be enhanced, and your whole world changes, because in that place there's no victimhood. There's empowerment, and there's potential, and there's meaning. It's pretty powerful stuff. Thanks for listening to the Fireside Chat. I'm keen to hear any thoughts on surrender, any of your experiences. By all means, send them through, and we look forward to the next one. Take care.